Hey, 3 years ago this month, I stopped drinking alcohol, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to my body in that time. Guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bedros Keuilian, and 3 years ago this month, I stopped drinking alcohol occasionally, and I was the occasional alcohol drinker. I would have it at, little parties. I'd have a cocktail or two. I never kind of got blasted or blacked out and made a string of bad decisions, but I do know plenty of people in my past who have done that. And so I'm going to tell you exactly what the last 3 years have been like since I stopped drinking alcohol occasionally and socially. So the reason I stopped was I'm currently 51 years old. When I stopped, I was 48 years old. And one day after a speaking event, before the meet and greet, I had this habit of getting a cocktail from the bar at whatever event I was speaking at, and it would usually be a vodka double shot mixed with ice and pineapple juice. And I would drink that, and I would take the edge off so that I could do the meet and greet, where I get to meet and greet and take pictures with the people that I just spoke to in the audience. Now, I'm a bit of an introvert, so being an introvert, taking the edge off helped a lot. However, on that particular day, as I went to sleep that night, woke up the next morning to work out, I felt a little heavy-headed, felt a little sluggish, almost like a mild hangover. And I realized that my body does not process alcohol like it used to anymore. Now, there was a time where I would do the same thing and I would wake up feeling just fine. But that doesn't mean the damage of alcohol wasn't happening. It's just I wouldn't wake up with a light hangover, which means I can go work out in the morning and process throughout my day and get my work done and hang out with the family and all those things, right? But now at 48, I was unable to do that, or at least to do that without having to suffer the consequences. So in the first 30 days when I stopped drinking alcohol, I noticed something. I was actually sleeping better, less tossing and turning, less waking up in the middle of the night, and I didn't know exactly what it was. And so I started doing some research. And as it turns out, there's this neurotransmitter in your brain called GABA. And GABA is responsible for calming you down and relaxing you at the end of the day. Now, interestingly enough, what do most people do at the end of the day? Happy hour. Or when they get home, if they don't go to happy hour from work, they get home and they tend to maybe drink a glass or two of wine or a cocktail or beer or two just to take the edge off, to relax, to decompress, right? And GABA is actually your brain's natural phenomenon of doing that. It's a neurotransmitter. And so when you drink alcohol, you end up increasing GABA's effects, which is why you feel even more relaxed and the edge comes off and you feel more decompressed. However, that's artificial. And what ends up happening is now, if you don't drink the next day and you're ready to relax at the end of the day, well, you can't. There's this mild irritation, you're agitated, you're unable to relax fully and completely without alcohol. And the reason is, once you introduce alcohol into your body, even if it's just a small amount, even if it's just every few days, what ends up happening is you reduce GABA's natural effect on your brain, which means your ability to decompress and relax and just kind of disconnect at the end of the day, that natural system goes away. Well, during the first 30 days, as my system started to clear up and my natural neurotransmitter effects took effect of GABA, I was able to relax and sleep better in the latter parts of those 30 days. And I thought that was pretty amazing. In addition to that, over the last 3 years, without any additional modification to my workouts or nutrition program, I've lost 11 pounds. The only thing I can attribute it to, which is the only thing that changed, is the absence of alcohol. And again, upon further research, I can dedicate it to two things. One, inflammation. Alcohol creates massive inflammation in your body, your organs, and your brain, right? Think about it. You're drinking a poison. If you're drinking a poison, what we're feeling are the effects of the poison as our body is trying to process through it. So it creates all this inflammation in our body and brain, which means we begin to retain fluids and we end up gaining weight, inflammatory weight in our joints, in our organs, in our muscles, and in our brain. And so I'm convinced that after stopping alcohol, within the first 6 or 7 months, I started to see the weight fall off. And in the last 3 years, since I haven't had a sip of alcohol, I've lost 11 pounds with zero effort. And quite honestly, I think it's water weight, I think it's fluid weight, and it's because the inflammation in my body has massively reduced. Now, that could also be because I do take my own product, the Keuilian Wellness Shot, and of course with the ginger and the turmeric, it's already anti-inflammatory. But I had been taking the Keuilian Wellness Shot already. I've been taking it for the last 5 years. And so it's not like it was a introduction of the Trillian Wellness shot into my diet. That never changed. That was a constant. The other thing that I think helped me with the weight loss is, let's just face it, when we drink, some of us, I know I was guilty of this, have a lower willpower where our resistance for food is concerned. And that means we tend to want to eat food when we have lower willpower to fight the resistance of food, or the temptation of food, I should say, and we have lower willpower. And if you have lower willpower, you're going to eat an extra bite of whatever. You're going to eat an extra handful of those almonds, those cashews in my case, because I tend to work on my laptop on the couch in the evenings. And if I've had a cocktail or something during the meet and greet, then I go back up to my hotel room. In fact, I'm coming from a speaking event now as we're driving here, and Ed's right there next to me. But, you know, imagine if I had, this is right here in Southern California, so I'm just driving back to HQ. But if I had been speaking at another event where I would go back to my hotel, I might sit there and work. And if I had a cocktail before the meet and greet, then I would have a lower willpower effect on munching on food while I'm working. Let's face it, that's just how it is. When you reduce your inhibitions and you reduce willpower, you begin to eat more foods, right? And alcohol certainly does that. It impairs your judgment, not only when you're driving, not only when you're doing things, your motor skills, but in addition, your willpower where your food is concerned. So I imagine the lack of inflammation, as the inflammation left my body, and lack of additional calories because of a reduced willpower, I lost those 11 pounds over the last 3 years, which, hey, I'll take. My abs are even more visible as I've gotten older. Like, what a happy benefit, right? And of course, the big thing that I think you should know before we wrap this up is that there's more and more science coming out and more evidence coming out now that alcohol massively contributes to dementia. And if your brain is something that you value, your memory is something that you value, your ability to recall is something that you value, then you probably want to reduce or completely eliminate your alcohol consumption. It just makes sense, doesn't it? And so that's my challenge to you, is that you're drinking poison. And when you're drinking poison, and I know I was, even if it's occasionally, even if it's just socially, you know, we're not talking about raging alcoholics, but there's so many drawbacks and not a single positive benefit to alcohol, from impairment to bad judgment, to low willpower, to inflammation in the body, to a potential of creating, you know, brain and organ disease. I mean, think about your liver and liver disease that can become a byproduct of alcohol, kidneys getting damaged, your heart having to work harder, your arteries. Now there's evidence that your arteries get stiffer over time with the increase of alcohol. So it's all drawback, no benefit to alcohol. And of course, we certainly want to do everything we can to make sure that you don't have Alzheimer's disease or some kind of dementia-based medical condition as you get older. So the best thing you can do now is just to stop drinking alcohol and stop making excuses for it. Now I get it. It's easy to make excuses. Yeah, I do it when I'm out at dinner. It's nothing like having a great wine with a great steak, nothing like having a great wine and a cigar, nothing wrong with a cold beer at the end of the week. It's those little statements that you make, nothing wrong with, and then fill in the blank, that ends up stacking over time. I'm telling you, in the first 30 days, I noticed better sleep. In the next 6 months, I noticed that I was processing a lot faster in terms of decision-making, problem solving, and my ability to be able to solve complex problems faster without getting tired by the end of the day. As 3 years have gone by, I've lost weight. There's less inflammation or no inflammation in my body that I know of. And best of all, the bad idea fairy doesn't come around. Even if you drink a little bit, it's easy to get tempted by food or some other kind of stupid thing that you might want to do when there's a overabundance of alcohol in your body. So there it is. So what's my challenge to you guys? My challenge to you is try it for 30 days. Go cold turkey on alcohol for 30 days. Stop drinking alcohol for the next 30 days. And if you start feeling and sensing the benefits from it, maybe continue on for the rest of your life. Wouldn't that be a great challenge? Here comes the Trillian ad. Peace. Hey guys, quick interruption to the Bedros Keuilian show. It is cold and flu season, and I want to make sure that you have a strong immune system and that your body is fighting off inflammation, because right now, lots of people around you have the cold or flu. And you want to make sure that, one, you don't get it. And if you do get it, you want to get over it as quickly as possible so you can go back to dominating your day and stacking wins, right? So most of you out there are probably taking a whole bunch of supplements like vitamin C, vitamin D, echinacea, ginger, turmeric, astragalus, B12, zinc. And while all these things are great for building your immune system, one, they cost a lot of money, and two, the quality of the ingredients in here are not great. So I want you to throw all these away, and instead what you're gonna do is you're gonna get the Keuilian Everyday Wellness Shot. It tastes delicious, you can feel it working, you're gonna boost your immune system, fight off inflammation, have more energy, and keep your body hydrated, because we recently added pink Himalayan sea salt for sodium and potassium and magnesium to keep you hydrated. So here's an offer that you can't refuse. Go to Keuilian.com, use my name Bedros to get 50% off the Keuilian Subscribe and Save offer. Plus, you're gonna get free shipping and a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. This product is so good, such high quality, strong efficacy, and third-party tested that I want you to try it out at no risk. So use my name Bedros to get 50% off, plus free shipping and 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee.